Hey everyone, I'm going to go over some Monster Hunter adjacent news, and that is the fact that Capcom has decided to host yet another short survey providing user feedback and gathering details for basically players' opinions on not just some of their games but also upcoming sales as well. A lot of discussion has been had recently regarding the pricing structure for Rise and Sunbreak, specifically on the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows versions of the game, where after the most recent digital Capcom presentation that they had about a week ago now, essentially the Sunbreak version of PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PC Windows went up for pre-order. Remember, these are just digital versions of the game. There will be no physical versions of Sunbreak on any of those consoles. And people ended up finding out that Capcom is asking for $40 for Sunbreak. Now, normally this wouldn't be much of a problem since, that's how much it actually costs on the Nintendo Switch and on PC Steam. However, because you're already seeing the fact that base Monster Hunter Rise is on sale on Windows via Xbox storefront, it's already available on Game Pass, which is a built-in service. So if you pay for the service, you already have access to Rise. Essentially, technically, it's free. And base Monster Hunter Rise on PlayStation consoles, PS4 and PS5, is already down to $20 on sale. People were expecting Sunbreak to be maybe more price competitive, if you will, but that has not turned out to be the case. So basically, a lot of people are kind of upset that is what's going on when it comes to Sunbreak's releasing on these new consoles on late April. I believe that April 28th is what Capcom said. So now they're putting up a survey to kind of gather information, maybe price adjust. And today we are going to be going over some of those details so you can essentially go ahead and give Capcom the feedback that they need, so maybe they could actually adjust these prices accordingly. Whether it is that you have an issue with the pricing or whatever the case is, that's all well and good. You gotta let Capcom know. That is the only way these companies will be able to react. I'm a big advocate on making sure that you reach out through surveys or whatever the case is. I'm gonna be leaving a link in the description below specifically for this one, this new user survey. And certainly that is the way that they're going to listen. Complaining in the video comments isn't going to change anything. I welcome the comments. Be sure to leave your feedback. But, they're not going to read specifically my video comments or another YouTube's videos comments or anything like that. They're not reading Twitter for feedback. They're reading surveys. That is the way this kind of stuff works. So, a lot of people complaining on social media isn't really going to change anything. I always remind you guys of that. So make sure if you have an issue with something that they're doing, you want them to change something, providing feedback through the survey is the best way to approach it. Other first basic questions such as country of residence, age, gender. Of course, you can put other if you don't wish to answer any of those. Please select which following devices you own and use games to play. They, of course, mention Nintendo Switch, PS4 Pro, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, Series S, Steam Deck, interestingly enough, although that's just a handheld PC at the end of the day. PC, other, or I don't own any of the devices mentioned above. They also mention please select recently released Capcom titles that you have played before. Of course, they mention Resident Evil Village Gold Edition, which is the most recent release, but Resident Evil 4 Remake is dropping, I believe, later this month, if not in April. Monster Hunter Rise, of course, for Nintendo Switch and or Steam, or the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PC, Windows versions, Sunbreak, Capcom Fighting Collection, Capcom Arcade, whichever one you may be. Please select all coming Capcom games that you're looking forward to. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, Street Fighter 6, Exo Primal, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Monster Hunter Rise, PS4, PS5, Xbox One. Interestingly enough, they don't put Sunbreak in there. I guess that was a mistake on their part. Ghost Trick, the Dragon's Dogma 2, and Pragmata. Interesting that they mentioned Dragon's Dogma 2 in here because in the previous survey for the Capcom Spotlight, they did not mention Dragon's Dogma for whatever reason. Please write down Capcom titles you would consider purchasing at a sale, and please write down Capcom titles you are planning to purchase for the future. And certainly providing them feedback there would be one of the ways, just letting them know, put Sunbreak at a competitive price point. $40, a game launching already on late ports of a PC version, appearing on Xbox and PlayStation 5, and then of course PC Windows, which is just a Steam version, once again repurposed. it doesn't really make a lot of sense for $40. This shouldn't be their launching price at this point in time. If this had been done day and date with PC Steam and Nintendo Switch, no problems whatsoever, no issues. But the fact that they're choosing to do it now, maybe, certainly let them know if you so desire. A couple of other questions that mention which social media sites or video services do you use mainly when searching information about games, news, upcoming titles, whatever the case is. Of course, providing them your favorite YouTube content creators' details would go a long way, I'm sure, since they do read that information. At what timing do you prefer to purchase games? This one's interesting because they mentioned the pre-orders go live, which I don't think a lot of people will end up doing or actually do, unless there's a collector's edition. There's a Nintendo game like the new Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom collector's edition, which I think sold out physically within like 5 minutes of going up. Typical Nintendo stuff, they only print a handful, and scalpers online will buy them all. It's just a way that it seems to be each and every single time, and Nintendo never actually learns. But Capcom doesn't do that. They make collector's editions relatively abundant, that you end up seeing them, available in storefronts, discounted at a later date. So at least there's some good there. They mentioned a week before launch, a month before launch, purchase on day release without pre-ordering, purchase within a week after release, purchase within a month after release, purchasing 3 months after release, purchase 3 months after release, within or after, and wait for a sales discount, which I think most people, if you're going to wait 3 months, just wait for a sale. How do you prefer to purchase your game? They, of course, mention whatever digital or physical storefronts you wish to do so. And did you know that Capcom is currently holding a sale, which they are on the eShop? They have plenty of stuff there. The typical, suspects, a lot of Resident Evil games discounted there. I actually bought Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 physically, and I actually ended up finding out that it's just one of the games. I think Resident Evil 4 is in the cartridge, and 5 and 6 are downloadable codes, which is a little bit of a bummer. But, at least I have those games on Switch now, which are, certainly fun games. I have no real issues with 5 and 6. I don't know why people hate 5 and 6, but they're okay. What is the deciding factor when you purchase games during a sale? Of course, I think it's the discounted percentage. And I believe, lastly, did you know there's a Capcom ID account? Which we've spoken about this before. The Capcom ID is their way, essentially, for them to kind of know what games you are buying, and a lot of people are expecting, if there's ever going to be cross-play, cross-saves, the Capcom ID will most likely be a big key factor in making sure that you have full access to your saves, since you have them all linked up to the Capcom ID. But that's about all the information that I have for you guys today. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below for the official survey, and of course the art that you get whenever you finish the survey as well. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.